What's good, Josh? Your boy J Swab. I'm the host of J Swab TV. Y'all see the backdrop. I'm here to talk to y'all about that Fantastic Four first step. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Marvel cooked with this movie. Without question, it's the best Fantastic Four adaptation we've gotten so far. I mean, the bar is pretty low. Shout out to them early 2000s Fantastic Four movies. 2015's Fantastic Four movie I didn't even go see. I heard that shit was that ass. Leave in the comments what y'all thought about that 2015 Fantastic Four movie. Yeah, man, I really do feel like this Fantastic Four movie was a great start to Phase 6. Does a great job introducing Marvel's first family, showing all their quirks, mannerisms, interactions between them. Also showed how well they work in a team setting time and time again, which being that they've been around for about 4 years now, it does make sense that they're able to work as seamlessly as they are, but in the movie, it just feels like they always have a backup plan to any situation. And honestly, it's because all four of these characters are geniuses, for if we're being honest. There's no group in the MCU that's comparing to them from an intellectual standpoint. Whether it's countering the Silver Surfer multiple times in space, while fleeing, mind you, trying to go back home, frantic, as if fleeing from an entity like the Silver Surfer wasn't terrifying enough. They're out here in the middle of space trying to deliver a baby. The time I'm seeing them trying to deliver that baby, I'm like, yo, why did Sue pull up? And I'm not disrespecting Sue at all. No, I'm not. Because whole time, Sue Storm is the MVP of this movie. Like, without Sue Storm, what I thought was gonna happen in this movie was gonna happen. They were gonna interact with the Silver Surfer, then Galactus was gonna pull up and cook him essentially. The post-credit scene in Thunderbolts, I thought that was them running away from Galactus or Doom, which I guess the opportunity for that is still open based on the post-credit scene in this movie. But yeah, just the fact that she was pregnant out in space, obviously didn't expect her to give birth in space. Galactus definitely sped that process up real quick. But yeah, that whole chase scene was immaculate. Anyway, I always do this great job of ranting about what I'm gonna talk about later on in the video at the beginning of the video. I don't know why I do that. We're gonna get right into this movie review. If you like anything I gotta say at all, you already know what y'all gotta do. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things. The goal for this channel is 200 subscribers by the end of the week. Y'all didn't even know y'all was getting a Fantastic Four review, so y'all already know, man. Subscribe for more surprise content like this. You never know what you're gonna get with me. Let's go over this movie. We're gonna start off with a brief plot description, going over what went down in this movie. Now, I was a couple minutes late to seeing the movie. Got there on time, but my girlfriend wanted a snack, so I stepped out of the theater. I missed the very beginning, but she put me on game. Apparently, the movie takes place in a different Earth in like the year 2080 something. Reader trying for a baby again. They've been unsuccessful in the past. They're hoping they can make some shit shake this time, and they're definitely successful in doing that. But before they deliver that baby, we get to see the early stages of the Fantastic Four before they had their power. They were just regular astronauts until one day they went into space, got hit with this cosmic wave, and they all came back with some crazy powers. We got Johnny Storm turning into the Human Torch. Sue Storm could turn invisible. Reed Richards has the power to stretch like Luffy. And then Ben Grimm literally just comes back as a thing. They don't even have a real description for this guy. The people of this Earth absolutely stand the Fantastic Four. So much so they got some of the Fantastic Four serving as world leaders. I'm talking, these guys are respected even by the villains. Shout out my boy Mole Man, aka Stingray from Cobra Kai. He makes an appearance in this movie. He's actively working with Sue Storm in some select scenes in the movie. He was a good amount of comedic relief and served as an integral part in protecting the people of New York towards the end of the movie when Galactus pulls up and starts stepping on shit. Anyway, with all this gas, you know haters is gonna be right around the corner. We see Jennifer Garner, Silver Surfer, aka Shia LaBeouf, pull up. And I gotta just say this off the rip. Jennifer Garner killed it with her performance as Silver Surfer. I was all hating, talking about, oh, why do we need a female Super Surfer? We already got a male Silver Surfer. Why we need a female one? Bro, this is why you just need to shut the fuck up and wait for the movie to drop. The way she was introduced, just listening to all the banter when she pulled up. Okay, waiting for the class to stop speaking before she said what she needed to say. And then the way she let everybody know that Galactus is coming to devour their world. So eloquent and calm like that, I'm like, bruh, so are you gonna help us? And obviously she doesn't help. She's working with Galactus, why would she help them? Johnny almost gets through to her a couple times though, and I will say their interactions in this movie definitely were great. She and Johnny take the time to learn her language in order to communicate with her when she eventually spun back on Earth. The other members of the Fantastic Four were trying to figure out a way to move the planet far enough where it would take Galactus another million years to even reach them. It was great to see, and it did a great job of also expanding on who the Silver Surfer was. And I love seeing that because we really didn't even need to get that in this movie. But them giving us that context on her character allowed us to get a deeper understanding of her relationship with Galactus. Understanding that Galactus, similarly to what he's doing with the people of Earth right now, provided Shia LaBeouf with a similar deal. Sacrifice your life in order to protect the people of your planet. So she did so, and he turned her into the Silver Surfer literally. Now she's become this messenger, letting people from different planets know that Galactus is pulling up and he's gonna eat your world. She's just so sick that this is the fate that she's been subjected to, but I think that this also ups Galactus as a villain as well. When we talk about Galactus' part in this movie, I gotta give Ralph Ineson his credit. Praying I did not butcher your last name, brother. He was terrifying for the parts of the movie that he was in. The way he communicates with the Fantastic Four, talking about, I was once your size over 1 billion years ago. Expediting Sue's pregnancy just by looking into her stomach. But he knew he wanted that baby and he was trying to get it by any means. Which resulted in the greatest chase scene that I've seen in a Marvel movie in some time. Silver Surfer was really out there on their body, don't matter what they threw at her. Human Torch, no problem. She's out here riding that man's flame wave, shooting at her with turrets. She's bobbing and weaving, all them shit. It took a black hole to stop her from chasing them. Now I know her and Galactus got beef for what he did to her, but she played her part a little too well to be a pseudo ally to the Fantastic Four in this movie. And you got Galactus pulling up to Earth later on in the movie, which I thought was a crazy brain play from Reed Richards himself. Talking about some, no, we need to bring Galactus here. I'm like, huh? Nigga, the risk is entirely too high, but they did it anyway. They managed to evacuate the citizens of New York, thankfully, because this man was casually just leaning on buildings, stepping over cars. Property damage in this movie was crazy, and it's so wild because it still don't compare to what the Avengers be doing in them other movies. The final fight was good, seeing the Fantastic Four execute the way they have throughout the movie against Galactus, mind you, who literally sees them as flies. He is not taking them serious at all when he steps on the Earth. His only mission is to secure that baby. But when you're dealing with the Fantastic Four, come on, you already know they're gonna have a big brain play ready. Even though I'd probably call this final big brain play more of a Hail Mary than anything though. They bait Galactus with Reed and Sue's baby, bringing him to this point where they're gonna be able to transport him to a whole other dimension, far away from their Earth. Johnny's able to blind him, they bring the baby back to their headquarters, and they have my boy Herbie watching over the baby while they handle the fight in New York. Shout out my son Herbie. Not to be confused with the 2005 Lindsay Lohan movie. But unfortunately, it doesn't work. Galactus doesn't take the bait. He starts making his way over to the base instead, and this is where we see the Fantastic Four have to fight him off and literally keep him from getting over to their building. They do this in a multitude of ways, none of which really work until Sue gets involved. And like I said, Sue is the MVP of this movie, because Shorty literally starts pushing bro back over to the base they need him to stand in for 37 seconds, mind you, in order to successfully transport bro far away from Earth. She does so with some much needed help from the Thing, who provides mad support throughout this movie. Get him in place, and just as it looks like Galactus went into the hole, the Thing's talking about, read it, work! Boy spoke too soon. Galactus is immediately coming back out of the portal. As soon as Sun starts coming out of the hole, Johnny's immediately ready to sacrifice his life. Just as he's about to do that, in the clutch, Charlotte Ball comes in, saving her love interest for the movie, sending her and Galactus away forever. I feel bad for my son Johnny. He was really trying to lock that up. But no gal is worth the life of your nephew, especially when your nephew is able to bring your sister back from the dead. As Sue pushes herself way too far, she ends up taking herself out, trying to push Galactus into the zone that he needs to be in to be transported. But luckily, this boy Franklin has cosmic plot armor. He was able to bring her back like she never left. Yeah, the day is saved. The Fantastic Four is still seen as heroes in the eyes of the people, which I love seeing throughout the movie, but I also thought it was mad crazy when they started to switch up on him, when Reed tells him the truth about what Galactus wanted in exchange for the safety of the Earth. Like, I was mad seeing that, but at the same time, I could understand from somebody who's not in their shoes' perspective. Like, you had the option to protect us, but you sacrificed us for a baby who hasn't even been outside the womb yet. At the same time, it goes into the MVP Sue's message to the people after they got mad at them. I'm not willing to sacrifice my baby for this world, but I'm also not willing to sacrifice this world for my baby. Y'all are our priority too. Y'all have been for these last couple of years. We gonna make sure y'all are protected. And that's why I really love this Fantastic Four movie, is because these heroes really take their job so serious. And you could just feel the bond between them and the people of Earth. And just seeing everybody on board and complying with Reed's plans to get the planet transported, it really does a good job showing the goodness of humanity. It's just unfortunate that it has to get to that point for us to work together as a people. In terms of the Fantastic Four themselves, as individuals and as a group, I thought they were great. I thought Reed was gonna be the typical smart guy, but we see him dealing with a lot of issues in this movie. He's a thinker, so he always has to think of the good and the bad that come out of any plan that he makes. We see that with his risky play to bring Galactus over to Earth in an attempt to transport his big ass far away from him. I thought his character was good. Johnny, I thought was good as well. Love that his firepower had a limit to it. Like seeing him try to spit game with Charlotte Ball, and also just being annoying at point. Like when he's trying to get these costume designs through to Reed, but Reed is too busy trying to deal with some other shit. I also really like the scene that he had with Charlotte Ball before Galactus pulls up to Earth, where he tries to sympathize with her and have her understand that the same thing that happened to you is about to happen to us. You have the opportunity to help us, but you're choosing to side with Galactus instead. I like how the tone of the conversation started off really soft, but slowly started to uptick as he started talking to her more and more, making her feel the pressure and understand that, yo, man, maybe he got a point. Why am I working with this nigga for real? The Thing was also really good in this movie. I like the CGI on him. Looks a lot smoother than he did in the other movies, I'll say that. I also really like seeing the people enjoy the Thing's presence as opposed to how he was in the first set of movies. And obviously he just turned into the Thing in those movies, so people didn't really know how to receive him. But in this movie, my son is an icon, and I love that for him. We got more scenes of him clobbering things, but overall I loved his character. I already know how I feel about Cousin Ebon. It feels like he brought a lot of his character from the bear into this movie. He's not as brash as Richie is for sure, but he definitely does have some cousin in there. And the MVP Sue Storm, do I ever have to say much more about her for real? Out here bringing the people together. The only reason they were able to get Galactus up out of there, for being honest, and gave birth to this super child who we about to talk about in this post-credit scene. Because why is Dr. Doom in the Fantastic Tower talking to this boy? What bad things is he trying to put in this youth's head? I like how they're doing the Thanos thing, just showing him off, giving away too much upon his introduction. But I am curious to see how this post-credit scene ties into the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, and how this version of Fantastic Four will end up coming to the main timeline. Overall, this movie was a very solid start to Phase 6. I'll give it a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. I think it just narrowly beats out Superman. As somebody who's only watched both movies one time so far, y'all let me know in the comments, what y'all think about the Fantastic Four? How do you think all this ties into Doomsday?